Millions of people go on vacation every year, with around 1.4 billion people traveling internationally annually. In order to do this kind of travel, we have to disrupt our daily routines, from our fitness habits to what we eat to where and when we sleep. So that begs the question, how many of those 1.4 billion people are working out during these trips? And should they even be working out on their trips or vacations? Today we'll tackle this question on a few different levels. I'll also use my current trip in Greece as an example. Okay, let's dive in. Okay, but first we need to take a look at the science. This will help us to figure out when you should be adding certain active activities or structured workouts to your vacations and when it's okay not to. So there's plenty of reasons to work out while you're away, but a lot of these overlap with why we should exercise in general, and many of these you've heard of before. It improves your mood, reduces stress, is really good for your metabolism, your heart. It builds muscle, which helps you function better in everyday life. However, beyond that, loads of the benefits that you get from moving on vacation are the mental effects. This includes trying new things, exploring your new environment through surfing, hiking, and maybe rowing, things you can't do in your normal home environment. These new activities can spark new passions and also can help you enjoy movement in the long run and develop a low-stress relationship with it. But one of the most underrated reasons is it helps keep your habits flexible. It helps you maintain and build habits in different environments, and this is a skill we can practice. So this is where addiction science comes into play. When we think about someone recovering from addiction, we often think about them going to rehab, where they then get clean. However, often, but not always, when these people go home to their original environment, they often relapse. Why is this the case? One of the big reasons people relapse is the exposure to old cues in their original environment. This could include the people, the places, the smells, or anything that links to that addictive habit. So on the flip side, rehab clinics work because they remove all or the majority of those cues. But again, when someone returns home, the cravings can return because the environment cues them. But keep in mind that addictions are complex, and especially addictive substances, they come with neurochemical elements which make it much easier to become addicted to the substance. However, habits go hand in hand with cues. So let's flip what we just learned and apply it to healthy habits. If you see your yoga mat down on the floor, you may be more likely to practice yoga, just as if maybe you saw a cigarette on a table and you'd be more likely to smoke. It's the same kind of cueing process that happens in our brain. This actually has a name. It's called the habit loop, and there's two other pieces to it. It goes cue, action, reward. The cue part gets things going, but suddenly when you're on vacation, many of those cues disappear. This can be why it can be so hard to find the time or structure in a workout into your travels. You're now missing the triggers that supported your healthy habit. So what can we actually do about this? So if you've been consistent with movement for a while, then your brain has probably already started to rewire. So besides the external cues like seeing a yoga mat in front of you, I also want to increase the internal cues. So how much you're thinking about exercise. So if you're seeing someone running on vacation, you instantly think, oh, I should go for a run. Over time, this may not even be conscious. Seeing someone going for a run may make you feel like going for a run. So while vacation does mess with your routine, it also builds and trains a powerful skill. Can I keep this habit alive in a new environment? And this is the kind of skill that makes your fitness habit stick, whether you move house, get injured, change jobs, or hop on a plane. You've kind of trained your brain to adapt. To actually put this into practice, set reminders, bring visual cues like your exercise clothes. Put an appointment into your travel plan that this has to be done on this day. Go explore the city around you, and then in the evening, go for a workout in the local park. And don't be perfectionist. It doesn't need to be a full gym routine. Even a yoga flow, a walk, or a banded workout is fine. Now let's take a look at the physical side of things. Many people worry that they're losing progress if they go for an extended trip. Even 1 week off, and they worry they're losing strength gains and muscle gains. But is this actually true? And can vacation actually be scheduled rest and benefit our gains? Let's take a look at what the current exercise science says. So how fast do we actually lose muscle? Well, muscle loss can happen quite quickly. However, we only see that fast muscle loss in situations where someone is under complete bed rest, for example. The good news is that even gentle activity like walking, which you do lots of on vacation, or carrying grocery bags, or gentle yoga can help you to maintain that muscle and slow down the muscle loss process by a large amount. Studies show that if you're generally active, like walking daily, then there's no significant muscle loss within the first 2 weeks. But 3 weeks is generally the threshold before a little bit of atrophy starts. Breaks longer than that, like up to 2 months, can lead to significant loss, around 50%. But even then, some strength and muscle is retained. So what if we increase movement by a little bit more? Let's say from walking to doing body weight workouts or yoga. Studies say that just doing 1/9 of your usual training volume, so those body weight workouts, yoga, can maintain your muscle for up to 7 months. All in all, maintenance is way easier than building. And even if you lose that muscle memory exists, and you'll be able to build it back up quicker than if you were starting from scratch. However, keep in mind, older individuals may lose muscle mass quicker than younger individuals. On the other hand, if you're dedicated in the gym and you're training consistently, you can actually use that 1 week, as long as it's a short vacation, for a deload period. So a deload is an intentional reduction in your training intensity, and this can look like many things, but as a coach, this is what I generally advise for a deload. So I would keep your routine the same training days and generally the same exercises. Reduce your volume, cut your sets by 40 to 60%. So if you do 4 sets of squats, maybe just do 2. Lower intensity, lift at 50 to 70% of your usual weight, or stop 3 to 4 sets before failure, and add mobility. So stretching, foam rolling, or light yoga. Deloads are also really important for athletes because they prevent overtraining and allow the body a little bit more time to adapt to your training pressure. Especially if you're plateauing, deloading can be an amazing choice. That being said, if you're only training 1 or 2 times a week without any additional sport like jiu-jitsu or tennis or anything like that on top, then deloading may not be for you. In this case, it might be worth looking at structured workouts for your vacation. So now you know all the background and the science. When is it okay to not work out on vacation, and when should we make the effort to structure in some workouts? So here are my 6 key factors that are worth considering before you decide on structured workouts or different movement activities for your specific trip. So number 1 is location. As previously mentioned, think about what opportunities you have in your environment. Is it safe to walk? Is it nature rich? Is the city actually walkable, or is everything kind of a drive away? Think about if it's hot or cold and what kind of workout equipment and movement opportunities there are, like skiing if it's cold or swimming if it's hot. Next, it's okay to ease up if the climate is very extreme. Let's say it's very hot, very high altitude, or very cold and your body is struggling to adapt. From a personal example, I often travel to Greece and it gets very, very hot during the day, especially in the summer. Like we had 41 degrees last August, so it was really boiling. But I was able to move my workouts into the cooler evening. So adapt it again to your environment and circumstance. Next up, we have equipment. So what kind of equipment are you able to bring with you? Bands, maybe a travel yoga mat, or maybe the hotel you're going to has a hotel gym or equipment available for you to rent, like yoga mats. Then consider the length of the stay. So a 2-day stay differs greatly from a 20-day stay. If it's a short trip, like 2 days or 3 days business trip, then bringing lots of exercise equipment doesn't really make so much sense, and maybe exercising doesn't make sense on that kind of trip. So the length really matters. 20 days, and it's probably definitely worth trying to fit some movement in. Now think about what your current training routine looks like. Did you just finish an intense week? Are you doing upper body, lower body, and full body? What kinds of exercises do you have in your program? And is it a finished program, or are you just starting a new one? All these things matter when you're designing the right kind of movement plan for your trip. Finally, energy and health. So did you just get off of a very stressful period at work? Are you trying to relax over your vacation? How is your health? Do you have allergies? Did you get a cold on the plane? Stuff like that. Next, the social context. So as I mentioned, if you're with friends or family or a romantic partner, and and their ages. This affects what kind of activities are realistic and achievable for all of you if you're trying to stay together and feel included on the vacation. And finally, a little bit of a bonus one. What are your personal goals? Do you want to work on skills while you're away? Can you work on that skill? Like handstanding, you can work on pretty much anywhere, but you can't, for example, work on strength PRs anywhere in the world unless you go directly to a gym. So given all of the factors, you hopefully have a general idea on how workouts fit into your trip. You've planned for the climate, the trip isn't too short, you may or may not be deloading, and you've scheduled in the time. So how should the actual workout look like for you? So I've organized the different types of movement you can do on vacation into categories. First up, we have category A, or level 1, total rest and active recovery. So as we mentioned before, this is non-fitness focused trip. Maybe traveling for 3 days, you have no access to a gym, and so you're resting. In this rest mode, at least try and keep your steps up though. 7 to 8K a day minimum if you can. Next in this category, we have explorer mode. So let's say you arrived to a new city, you don't have any workouts planned, but the city is super walkable. Make sure you're planning trips to different locations and you're attempting to walk there. Next up, we have category B, or level 2, light intentional movement. Most people should aim for this category, in my opinion. These are the kinds of trips which have light fitness planned into them. So normally this is anywhere from 7 to 14 days and more. So you're planning to do maybe something like light yoga, gentle body weight workouts, or you're doing a deload week and you're doing the same kinds of movements you would be in the gym, but you're just cutting back. But the only problem with this type of movement is it cannot easily target the pull muscle. So if you're doing bodyweight workouts and you don't have any bands or any surface to pull anything towards you to use those pull muscles, then the pull muscles will not be as easily maintained, but those can be done through other activities like, again, lifting groceries, carrying bags, or even rock climbing. And finally, we have category C, or level 3. This is structured and very purposeful. You're actively trying to maintain your regular training routine, whether it's going to the gym or taking all of your gym movements and converting them into a body weight exercise routine. I'm able to do this when I go to Athens because Athens has gyms pretty much everywhere, but they also have outdoor fitness parks, and this is an amazing initiative. They're completely free, but often you need a local or you need to do a bit of research to find parks like this or explore a little bit with a car. Parks like this are filled with bars, so pull-ups and rows and things like that. Tricep dips are all much easier to do with this kind of parking equipment. They often have a track around them for cardio as well. So especially if you're deviating from your routine, but you want to hit all the muscle groups, as a coach, these are the exercises I recommend you do, and they can mostly be done with bands or with weights or at a weight park. So I would recommend always having a squat pattern. So any kind of squat, often single leg is a good idea, especially if you only have one weight, but doing single leg allows it to be more challenging for your body than if you use 2 legs. So if you're limited on the weight you're using, like if you're just using body weight, I recommend single leg exercise. Then you'd want a hinge, like a deadlift. Again, this can be single leg. You also want an overhead press, a chest press, a row, and a lat pull down or pull up. From there, you can do accessory exercises, you can do lateral lunges, you can do a couple of carries or any kind of mobility on top of that, but those are the core ones you want to be adding into your routine. Also, mentioning core, we probably want a couple core exercises. Those are not hard to do wherever you are. You can do leg raises, you can do crunches, and so on. But if you're still confused and you want help designing your vacation workouts, then feel free to have a look at my website. I do exactly this. I structure people's workouts when they're at home, but also when they're on vacation so that they can stay consistent with their habit. Contact me or check out my website to learn more. Okay, the next section in this category is the adventure athlete. So actually going on vacation for movement. So this could be going for a yoga retreat, going on a hiking trip, a ski trip, surf camp, or even a climbing weekend. So you're not necessarily going for the gym, you're not doing your normal routine, but you're going on a trip just to be active, and that is amazing. You're on your feet, you're exploring, and you're having fun doing it. And that is all I really want for anyone, to enjoy movement like that and actually plan it in, enjoy it so much they do it on vacation. Finally, we have the ultimate tier, competitor mode. So you're actually going on vacation for something like a marathon, for a triathlon, for a jiu-jitsu competition, or basically anything where your whole trip revolves around your athletic performance and precision. So this is like elite tier. You're probably timing meals and doing everything, and you probably don't need this video because you've planned everything in already, but that is like the top of the top tier. So final tips and caveats. Caveats. Pack ahead. Bring 1 to 2 multi-use outfits. Try and make your outfits match with each other. I like to just pack things that are green, brown, black, and blue. That way everything kind of matches with each other. Green goes with brown, blue goes with brown, and so on. Make sure you have your passport. Next, try and plan your workouts, but stay flexible. If things don't go to plan, it's fine. Movement should support your health, not add extra stress to you on vacation. When you're on vacation, if you're struggling to keep your habit, then focus on consistency over intensity. So just doing 5 to 10 minutes, mini yoga sessions every day or something like that will help to build the habit, and then you can add in that intensity later. You can also gamify it. I did a whole video on this, so feel free to check that out, but maybe try and track steps as a game when you're out exploring new towns. At least get to like 7 to 10K steps. Okay, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video but you want to learn more about habit building or about how to gamify your workouts, I have videos on my channel covering those topics, which you can find somewhere on the screen now. And if you're interested in fitness coaching or in habit building or in workout programming, then I'd love to help you with any of those. So feel free to check out my website or send me an email and we can talk about your specific goals. See you in the next one. Woo!